Good morning, everyone, and welcome to First Friday Lunch. If this is your first time being here, my name is Tina Holland, and every first Friday of the month, I go ahead and I talk about what's going on in my personal life, writing-wise, what I'm watching, reading, and I have a hot topic. And this hot topic is how did I do on my 2025 goals, and what are my goals for 2026? So let's go ahead and get into it. I keep trying to use the mouse even though it's not hooked up. So once again, first Friday to lunch. Personal health, doing pretty good health-wise, doing pretty good here on the farm. My husband bought a tractor. We bought a Bobcat tractor at the end of the season, going into this one. So I finally got my driveway cleared because before that it was like traversing the I don't know. I felt like one of those, those old timey people because we're bringing our groceries in with a sled because there was a waist high drift in our driveway. And literally he had it at my uncle's place to go ahead and work on it because my uncle has a shop. And so he was over there and he was working on it and got it fixed yesterday, dropped it off, and went ahead and plowed through that drift. So yay! So I can probably drive my Mini out, but although there is a tunnel, and for those of you that live in the Midwest, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so that's kind of what's going on personal-wise. Holidays went really well. Got to talk to both my daughters or whatever. We opened a Zoom with our oldest daughter down in the cities and our youngest daughter we talked to on Christmas Day. So that was really good. Got to see the grandsons. Yay. So at least on camera anyway. So that was nice. So that's kind of personal. What am I reading and watching? So let's see. What am I reading and watching? I am finishing up I think I'll finish it this month, probably the Onyx Storm second half, because I've been listening to it on graphic audio. So I've been doing that. I also started listening to the other Bennett sister on audio, which is about Mary Bennett. It's interesting. I do agree, though. They kind of cover like Mary Bennett in the scene of Pride and Prejudice in the first, I think it's like 3/4 of the book, because I'm not even past where that story has ended. And so that's a little long. And the other one I started was on just audio was Artemis Fowl, because I always kind of wanted to read it and I just never did. And I'm like, I'll just start listening to it. So I started listening to that. So that's interesting. So that's kind of what I'm reading. Watching, I didn't really watch it. I guess I watched my like normal Christmas movies or whatever. I did that. And yeah, nothing really big. It's been kind of a slow season, but that's all right. All right. Writing publishing. The writing publishing is going well. I just finished yesterday the final read through on my part of How to Love a Lord. I picked a release date. It will be February 14th. For sure, the ebook will release that day. And then I may release the paperback later, but I kind of want to get in on the Valentine's Day hype or whatever. So I'm going to release the ebook then, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get the paperback out as well. But that's going to depend a little bit on my cover artist, because I got to wait for it to kind of be completed by Sandra, and then I can send it over to Melody to say this is how big it is. Although I might start that process now and then pad some pages on the end of it. So that at least I have a flat back by the time Sandra gets me her feedback. So, and hopefully it won't take me 2 weeks to do it. So that's kind of where that is at. And then I have started writing the third book in the Bad series, which is, it's going to be titled How to Humble a Highlander. So, and that will be Prue's story if you've been reading the first and the second book. So, and I like to have the first chapter in the paperback. And for whatever reason, I was not able to do that in How to Marry a Maid. You're able to put that first chapter. I did have it in there, but Amazon kept kicking it back for too many pages. And I didn't want to format the print smaller because that's like impossible to read. So to me, it's already hard to read. So that's something that I kind of looked at. So that's kind of what's going on writing wise. I maybe will be doing a short story or something. We can talk about that more in the 2026 goals. So let's get into it. So let's talk about the 2025 goals. I will link to my last year this time video, and we can see what I did. But last year, I'll just kind of go through them. I wrote them down. So, so my word of the year for 2025 was thrive, which, kind of implies growth, be whatever. And so, projects like writing wise, I wanted to complete 3 writing projects. I didn't. I don't think I wrote any short, and then that it covers short stories. It covers short stories, novels, novellas, all that. And I don't think I did anything. I was hoping to even get How to Love a Lord out last February, but then I missed that deadline. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll get it out like in October or something. That was my next one. But it took me so long to do the edits from my publisher or my editor, because I was working over the summer. So that did not go well. But so I didn't do any writing. I didn't even write any new stuff. So that was kind of a fail. So didn't do that. I wanted to do audio short stories, do my short stories, Chilla the Reaper and Snow by Any Other Name. And actually did do them on YouTube. I did Chilla the Reaper on YouTube on Halloween night. I read it. And then Snow by Any Other Name, which I'll have to maybe go and edit out that portion. But I read that on the Christmas Eve Yola Book of Flood that I ran this year. So those are technically in audio form, and I think I might just leave them there. So they'll be available to anybody who wants to listen to them. And if you like to listen to stories while you sleep or something like I do, then that might be a good thing. So that's available. I wanted to get an omnibus done of the Caulfield Cowboys in print, because I've packaged up Dealing with the Dead. And that is, for some reason, that's a post-apocalyptic romance, and it does really well in print. And even after we tell them, the cover's nice, which that might be part of it. But I think the other thing is that it's, I don't know if I think the cover is one of them, but it is spicy. It's the spicier of the stuff that I sell in print. And it doesn't do as well on the online stores in print, but at events it does very well. So as a matter of fact, I'm constantly ordering them for events. So I will try and put together, I don't know if Caulfield Cowboys will do as well, but it is spicy. So maybe, but the cover doesn't indicate it's spicy. So I will see. I'm going to hopefully move that. Didn't get done last year, maybe this year. I wanted to streamline a lot of the processes. And I kind of think I did, just uploading books and updating my website and doing all that kind of stuff. And that, some of it, but not all of it. And I think that's probably just a work in progress anyway. So health-wise, I was hoping to keep my blood sugar down, get more sleep, do some self-care. So that actually, my blood sugar is much better. As a matter of fact, I'm running low more often than I'm running high. I've been getting injections into my eyes for the macular deterioration, and I haven't had to have those for, I think, since last year. I think it's been almost a year since I've had the last ones, like a year ago today. And that's good, because my eyes have actually, they've stabilized. So and that's because my blood sugar is not running high anymore. So that's good, because now I got to figure out something because I'm running low at night. Like I pop low in the middle of the night and I have to get up and take care of it, so my husband doesn't have to rush me to the hospital or whatever. So that's kind of, and that's scary, but I think it's going to be a matter of just trying to find a balance there and see what I can do to go ahead and get that taken care of. So community, I wanted to do the retreats, Founders and Spring Forward. I did those. Conferences, I wanted to go to Author Nation, did that. And teaching, I taught with BizMan. I taught my Fears class at BizMan in October. And it wasn't very well attended, so I don't know if that was the best avenue to teach. So we'll talk about that in the 2026 goals. So those were my goals for 25. And really the only one I made was I made progress on my sleep or my health, but and the retreat, and then my community, that because the retreats, conferences, and teaching all fell under community. So So then when we get into this year, what I'd like to do is, oh, go down. There we go. So for the 2026 goals, what I'd like to do is I'd like to complete 4 works, and 4 works being like 2 novellas, 2 short stories, 3 short stories, 1 novella, 4 novels, some combination where I'm just completing 4 works. And I think that might be doable for sure. I hope to get How to Humble a High and not publish. Publish is different. I think publishing, I'd like to do 2 a year. And whether that's going into a short story compilation or publishing it myself, I think 2, maybe 3. 3 might be a stretch, but I don't think 4 is going to be possible just because of timing, because you got to write stuff before you can publish it. So, and I don't have anything written, but I think 2 is definitely doable because I will be publishing How to Love a Lord this year. And I'm hoping to get into a short story compilation with Author Nation's graphic novel that they're doing. We'll see. If that doesn't happen, it's okay. Hold on just a second. I'm on camera. What do you need? You had to come in. Okay. Sorry. Indie puppy had to come in. She's like out there sitting there being lonely. There we go. I think my husband went to go get groceries or whatever, and he took the other dog with him. So he's like, whatever. So let's see. So they'd like to complete 4 works or 4 whatever. And my goal, I forgot to say my word of the year. My word of the year this year is sustainability. And really what I want to do is I want to be able to take what I'm doing now, make it sustainable. So I'm not burning out, I'm not whatever, and I can just keep writing, keep publishing, keep doing these things and being part of this community for as long as possible. So that's why I just said sustainability, whatever I need to do to keep that going. So 4 projects a year. This is just the writing portion of it, just 4 projects. And then of those, because the publishing is a little more, it's within your control, but it's also, there's more work behind it. You have to hire a cover artist, you have to hire an editor, you have to send stuff to beta readers and proofers, and that all takes time that is outside of your control. So that's why I don't put publishing on there, even though I'm my own publisher. But even when I was doing it, when I had publishers, my goal was always around the writing, because that was a portion of it that I could control. So that's that. And then I'd like to republish my backlist, but I haven't necessarily set a goal for how frequently I want to do that, because part of that is because I have to get covered. I think I'm going to get covers for the Starving Artist series, which is The Pilot and the Pinup, Last Virgin in Vegas, and maybe Sexing Up the Spy. I might, because I could kind of put that one in there if I wanted to. And because that's sort of a lead in, but I'm like, I'd like to get those cartoony covers because they're more rom-coms. They're on the spicier side, but they're more rom-com-y. And plus then too, I could compilate those into an omnibus for print if I wanted to, because they're pretty short. I mean, everything's about 20,000 words, which I do have. If you were to go out to Amazon, I do have Beauty is a Beast, and which is part of the Dealing with the Dead series, and which one is it? The Pilot and the Pinup and Fireproof are all out there available in print, but they're so thin. They're so thin that it's like these would work better as an omnibus. So I think what I'm going to do is just package them separately. I'd like to do the Caulfield Cowboys as in omnibus form. Those also, I'm going to repackage the ebooks, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do cartoony covers with those or not. I haven't decided, because it's sort of like, if I can get a package deal with them, I might with my cover artist, but we'll see. We'll see. And then I'll probably do like I did with Dealing with the Dead. I might buy like a whole separate cover for Caulfield Cowboys, just because I think I'm going to buy an image cover, like something with like boots and a hat or spurs or whatever, and those are spicier too, so they might do well. So we'll see. So that's the other thing. I'm not going to do anything with audio this year, because that's gotten more expensive, and the only way that I could do it affordably is to either go through ACX, although now, like a bunch of my shorter titles are through ACX, where I hired a narrator and did the split royalties. So they get half and I get half every time a book sells on the audio platforms, which is ACX, Amazon, and Audible. And so I could do that, but now I also have to pay the per hour fee. So it's like, well, that plus a royalty split, I don't know. I would never make that money back. And I don't want to use AI. The only way I would use AI is if I clone my own voice. That's the only way I would do it. And I might do that. But for the books that I would like to have in audio, which are the Archangel series, which is like Courtesan of Constantinople, Alchemists of Archangel, and the Regency series that I just did, those I would want to hire a narrator. And so I'm kind of waffling back and forth. I did get a bunch of information when I went to Author Nation on some Flamingo, I think it's called Flamingo Road. I'd have to look and see, or Flamingo Productions. I don't remember. It's Flamingo. I remember that. And so I was looking at them, and then they have more of a reasonable rate, but it might also be like, once I get X amount of money to be able to pay for that, then I'll maybe do it. So that's something I'm looking at, but not, I don't think this year. It'll probably end up being like a next year thing. So health, I'm looking to get more sleep. I'm in a total funk right now with sleep. And part of it is because when I go west to the West Coast, I never kind of recover. And then also, this didn't help this year. Normally, when I come back from Author Nation, we have the time change, and then I can kind of flip back over and I'm okay. And I'm getting up earlier. But I like to be in my office, that desk right there. I like to be there by 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm barely getting up at 9 o'clock these days. I'm like 9, 9:30, 10 the other day. And part of it is I'm just not, the sleep thing is one issue, but part of it is I'm waking up at like 2, again at 3, again at 5, and I'm not getting good sleep. Like my alarm for my blood sugar is waking me up because I'm popping low. And sometimes it's a false reading, and I'll go down and I'll check my blood sugar. Like I pierce me and then I put the thing on and I'll check it, and it's not actually low, but the reader in my arm here is reading it low. And so that might be something there, but I try and check it before I go to bed just to make sure that the monitor is working properly. But yeah, that's like messing with my sleep. So I don't know if we're going to have to mix up my evening cocktail or what, but that's part of it. Keeping the blood sugar down, which is good. Like I said, now I'm actually having an issue in the evening where I'm actually going super low. And so that's more of a problem. And then part of the sustainability is continuing with self-care. So continue to see my doctor regularly, go see my massage therapist regularly, I take more control over my health. My husband and I were talking to about, like, we eat relatively healthy. I mean, I'm not a big fatty food. Like, I'm not a big chips person. I'm not a big American candy person. Like, you think about American candy, like Skittles and Nerds and those sugar straw sticks from when you were a kid, Lick-a-Maid. I mean, this is how long it's been since I've had candy, right? Because I'm kind of naming off stuff from my childhood. I love like European chocolate. Like I love a good chocolate. I need that, like, even like years ago when I was on Jenny Craig, the one thing I like, the sugar was really easy to cut out. Like the pop, all that stuff was super easy to cut out. But the thing and the salt, anything salty, that was easy to cut out. But the thing that was really hard was anything fatty. I love rich, creamy things, So my favorite pie is pumpkin pie with whipped cream on it, like homemade whipped cream, not the Cool Whip stuff or the Ready Whip. I like to make it myself and put it on the pie. That's what I like. Hey, Indy, come here. I could probably actually open that door now because in Zuzu, our parrot, passed away. That's why you don't hear any squawking. But I used to close it so she wouldn't see me, because if she'd see me, she'd be like, "Quack, quack, 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 quack." But we had, like, our furnace went out and it got really cold. And like, my son comes upstairs and goes, "Oh my God, the bird is dead." And I was like, "Oh no." And I don't think that was what did it, because she was like 34, 35. She was very old. which parrots live longer sometimes when they're in captivity, but it didn't help. So, because she was already having issues prior to the furnace going out. So, but anyway, I'm not opening it again. You're just gonna have to scratch or figure out a way to open the door by yourself. So, so that's like health wise what I'm trying to do. So self-care. And I'm hoping with the more sleep, getting the blood sugar, better diet, and better diet, not in the sense like I'm going on a diet, but let's just make healthier choices for everything. Let's make, because I think part of the problem too is like with this blood sugar thing is I eat that dinner, and that dinner might be, it's within a couple hours of me going, it's like four, actually we eat super early. We eat by like 5 or 6 o'clock, mostly because I got stuff to do. And so that was one thing is like, okay, should like watching what I'm eating there, watching what I'm eating after that, so I don't spike super high before I go to sleep. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that I think with that and like just adjusting that and then watching the sleep and the blood sugar and also getting to the gym. We're going to try and go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week just because we need to. And because you get so, but that always helps too with my blood sugar is to get that down, is to have, do some walking at the gym and all that kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, that'll pop me low during the day if I do my insulin in the morning, take all my drugs, and go to the gym before I have breakfast, I'll pop low like right after we're done at the gym. I'll be like low. Like I'm like, I gotta eat now. so I try and eat a little something. So that was the thing. We're just kind of looking at those things and how can we make that better. And I feel like with all that, even if the weight doesn't come off, I'll be healthier, but I think it would. I think even, 5 pounds of fat or water or anything like that where you're building more muscle would just be better for me. So the last thing that I have for my 2026 goals is community. And I like to keep this on every year because this is my engagement with the rest of this world is community, or is doing these YouTubes and doing I do a lot of write-ins and stuff like that. So community retreats are part of that. I'll do Founders Retreat in September, and we are doing a Spring Forward Retreat with Writers and Garden in March. If you are interested, put a comment below, or you can message me on any of the social platforms I'm on if you're interested in participating, either as an author, like you would like to teach a class, or as a participant where you'd like to attend. So, and then some conferences, I'm going to go to Author Nation. I think that's just going to be an automatic on my schedule every year. And then the teaching, I still want to do that. I don't know if it's going to be here on YouTube. I don't know if it's going to be through Curios, because Amanda with Writers and Garden and I have been talking about putting classes on Curios as part of Writers and Garden. I don't know if it'll be within Writers and Garden, but I kind of want to do, or maybe I'll do these local conferences, go and teach a class. But the other thing is too, is that part of it is I'd like to teach classes because I like to teach and I like to share stuff with people, but there's only a very small percentage of people that need what I'm teaching, like my fears class, or the basics of self-publishing, or how to choose a cover, or anything like that is stuff that people in their early stages of their career need. But once you've got your writing process down, and I don't really teach anything on craft because that's not, I don't want to say it's not where my skill set is, but it's like the way I do it, I don't know that I'd be comfortable teaching the way I do it to other people, because that may not be the way that you need to do it. So I can talk a little bit about my process, just how it works for me, but that would probably be all I could do. And so that's one thing. And then just to kind of just educate people. But the other thing is too, is even within some of the communities that I'm in, Writers and Garden, Morehead Friends Writing Group, Romance Writers Club, there's not anything that I can teach that they don't already know or can't get from somebody else in that group, or somebody who's done more of it and or does it better than I do. So it seems like I'm struggling to find places to teach. So, and I could just do them once a month as part of the first Friday lunch. We could do it as part of that, or I could do the first Tuesday and teach one thing or something like that on YouTube. Oh, by the way, YouTube, thank you for putting me up to 50 subscribers because now I have a whole bunch of stuff that's now opened up on YouTube that I can use and I have to play with. So I think I'm going to take a class on it though, so I fully understand how it works. I think that's everything. So that's community. And then, yeah, I'll continue to participate in a lot of the stuff, my sprints and all that kind of stuff. So I'm coming into the season now, January through April, roughly April, where this is my office time. This is where I can get the most writing done. This is where I can. So, like, one of my goals in the next 90 days is to complete How to Humble a Highlander just so it's done. Just so it's done. And I can get it read through by my critique group. And then I can hopefully get it off over the summer months to Sandra. And then maybe by the end of the year, have it done and put it out again next year. I don't know if that's possible, but that's what I'm hoping to do. So that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't see that we have any comments. So thanks for coming though. So if you like this content and you want to see more of it, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons below. And I will see you next month. Let me see, what day is it? February 6th at 11:30. So go ahead and pencil me in for lunch.